Holt Fieldhouse for today's SAC conference contest between the LMU Rail Splitters and your Carson-Newman Eagles. A reminder that Carson-Newman and the NCAA promote good sportsmanship by student athletes, coaches, and spectators. We request your cooperation by supporting the participants and officials in a positive manner. Profanity, racial, or sexist comments or other intimidating actions directed at officials, student athletes, and coaches or team representatives will not be tolerated and are grounds for removal from the site of competition. Also, the consumption or possession of alcoholic beverages at the site of competition is prohibited. The well-being of our student athletes, fans, and staff are our top priorities and guide our decisions. Exposure to COVID-19 is an inherent risk at any public location where people are present. We cannot guarantee you will not be exposed during your visit. Though not required for entry to our athletic facilities, facial coverings are encouraged for arena faces. At this time, we ask that you please rise first for our invocation from Carson-Newman beach volleyball player, Alyssa Johnson.
Father in heaven, we ask your blessing on the game we are about to play. Give each one of us the courage to play this game in a manner which by our words and our actions are pleasing to you. Let us enter into this competition in a spirit of sportsmanship and with respect for the members of the opposing team. We ask you, Father, to bless each one of us, especially the coaches, officials, parents, and players. Keep us under the protection of your Son, Jesus Christ, and help us be aware of his presence with us in this game. Amen.
Now please remain standing for the playing of our national anthem. Starters for tonight's contest. First, for the LMU Rail Splitters, number 1, Emily Walters. Number 5, Sierra Lemon. Number 6, Sevgi Koyaju. Number 11, Karen Morris. Number 17, Katie Cardenas. Number 19, Kaylee Long. And number 22, Richland Rohr. The libero is Karen. And now, introducing your Carson-Newman Eagles. Number 4, from Katy, Texas, Skylar Weaver. Number 5, from Murfreesboro, Tennessee, Julia Wheeler. Number 6, from Bristol, Wisconsin, McKenna Hall. And number 7, from Parker, Colorado, Abby Hildenbrand. Number 21, from Galen, Ohio, Taylor Kieran. Number 22, from Cookville, Tennessee, Blake Cherry. And your libero from Hickson, Tennessee, Hayden Barton. Carson-Newman is led by Ashley Kieran, and she is assisted by Kat Lynn and Lucy. Nope, that is not.
Hello once again, everybody, and welcome to Holt Fieldhouse as we get locked and loaded for a Tennessee tussle this evening. It's Carson-Newman and Lincoln Memorial squaring off for the 53rd all-time meeting. Carson-Newman is looking to match a record long in the series history with a 4th straight win over the Splitters tonight and hand Lincoln Memorial a 5th consecutive loss on the season. Michael Watchring with you with our great crew here inside of Holt Fieldhouse as we get set for a South Atlantic Conference opening serve between the Eagles and the Rail Splitters. When these two teams squared off in the spring, Carson-Newman was on the ropes in a major way. Down 2-1, 16-12 in the fourth. And then all of a sudden the Eagles found their rhythm, ended up winning that fourth set, closing it out in the fifth, and Carson-Newman defeated the Rail Splitters on a night where Megan Oldenburger became the 14th player in program history to record 1,000 career kills. And we're just about ready for play here. Glad you're tuning in with us. Should be a great night of action here at Holt Fieldhouse. Carson-Newman looking to rebound. Eagles led 2-0 against Queens on Saturday. Royals came back with a vengeance, winning the final 3 sets to move to 2-0 on the season. Carson-Newman could have been in first place with Tusculum in the SAC standings. Instead, the Eagles find themselves in the middle of the pack at 1-1 in league action. Well, it's McKenna Hall back to serve for Carson-Newman as we get ready to lock and load here this evening. Ashley Tiernan out there for this club in her 3rd season and really her first full season. And here's Hall to serve it up there. She floats one to the back row. Walter will set it up backside right off the arms of Barton. A powerful swing by Richland Ross and a good start for LMU to take a 1-0 lead. Well, two pretty conflicting stats for this LMU side. They are pretty solid offensively, hitting above 180 on the year. Free ball sent over. Walter will set it up backside again. Ross drops it in front of McKenna Hall, and it's a 2-point surge for LMU out of the gates. The biggest issue for the Splitters this year has been their defense. They're giving up a combined 252 hitting margin. Every team this year has hit at least a $192. Kieran in the middle. Errant dig that skies out of play, and Carson-Newman finally on the scoreboard, trailing by a point here in the first. That ball hit Koyaju off her arms. Now back to serve Blake Cherry, the rookie from Cookeville. Deep serve, Tess Koyaju. Middle set, Hall, great hand reaction. Now a punch by Wheeler to get it over. Backside set, Ross again. She's angled in that direction a couple times. This time Hall ready. Wheeler, cross court. Koyaju can't dig it. Wheeler the kill. Carson-Newman pulls even at 2 here in the first set. First tie so far this one. Well, Carson-Newman dominated the opening 2 sets against Queens on Saturday. Eagles soared past Catawba to open the year with a win as Cherry sends it out of play, failing to give Carson-Newman its first lead of the match. And let's see how the Eagles respond. A couple days later, this is the end of their longest homestand of the year. They play 3 straight now. They only play consecutive home matches one other time this year. Hildenbrand sets up Kieran, running the transitional swing as she rifles it to the ground. Pure swing from the sophomore out of Galen, Ohio, just outside of Columbus. And we're tied at 3 in the opening set. And Hayden Barton back to serve for Carson-Newman. Outside set, cross court, out of bounds. Cardenas, too far. And I think for a second LMU thought that there might be a net violation, but no call. And the Eagles had their first lead of the night. A 4-3 margin in the opening game. And Barton once again back to serve. Preseason second-team All-League libero. Jumping set backside, and this one's pummeled out of play. Eagles will gladly take that back-to-back errant swings and a 3-0 Carson-Newman burst, all with Barton on serve. One of the top servers on this roster, the redshirt sophomore from Hickson, Tennessee. Jump floating set in the middle, left-handed punch just to get it off of the tape. And outside, the swing from Cardenas. Julia Wheeler from the 10-foot line, right down the line. It's plucked out of there by Britton. Another swing from Cardenas. Cherry scoops it to the middle. Weaver picked up by Britton, and bodies bumping into each other for LMU on the sideline. A miscue there. 4 unanswered for Carson-Newman, and the Eagles in control. 6-3 now in the first. So after the Eagles lost the opening 2 points, a 6-1 burst to take this lead. Shanked pass, hustling after it is Koyaju, and a free ball angled deep and out of bounds. 5 unanswered for the Eagles. Excellent stuff here by Carson-Newman, and a timeout. Lincoln Memorial. Eagles have won 7 of the last 8, and Carson-Newman is taking control here in the opening set, looking to take down the Splitters in the opening frame. Well, there are some other games on the docket here this evening. Coker's playing host to a UNC Pembroke team that has had their way against fellow South Atlantic Conference programs so far this year, and that game getting underway about an hour ago or so. And right now it is UNC Pembroke and Coker tied at a set apiece. It's the Braves with a 21-17 lead in the third set, looking to go ahead 2-1. Other games just now getting underway. Tusculum's on the road against the King Tornado. That's a 7 p.m. first serve. Converse traveling to Mars Hill. Wingate is at Lenore-Rod. That'll be an interesting matchup. LR's coming off of that nice weekend in Florida, taking down Palm Beach Atlantic. Wingate on the other side. They, like Carson-Newman, dropped a 2-0 lead against Tusculum, losing on their home floor. A rare instance for the Dogs. UVA Wise and Limestone, and rounding out the slate, it is Erskine and Newberry. And we'll update you on those as we go throughout. Eagles have 4 kills on 6 swings. It's been a dominant start for Carson-Newman so far. After that, little sluggish back-to-back points for LMU. Britton will set it up near side. Eagles rise to the occasion for the block attempt, but powering through it is Cardenas to end a 5-0 Carson-Newman surge and pull LMU within 3. Lincoln Memorial has lost 10 consecutive sets as you take another look at this swing off of the hands of Wheeler on this side. They haven't won a set in 10 days. Out of bounds on this serve. Eagles get the point right back and get the bulge back to 4. 8-4 here in the opening game. And now Abby Hildenbrand back to serve. Hildenbrand's coming off of a couple monster efforts over the weekend. She flirted with triple doubles in both matches, just falling shy on Friday and needed a few more of each digs and kills on Saturday. Good reaction by Edwards, and Wheeler is able to get it over the free ball. Who does Britton go to here? Backside, punched at, deflected by Wheeler, but Mooring had enough on it to skim it off of the tape after it bounced off of Wheeler's hands out of bounds, and Carson-Newman will gladly take the point, LMU rather will gladly take the point as Carson-Newman concedes, and LMU is down by 3. Another deep serve and a miscue. Second service error by LMU. Well, you look at some of the statistics between these two teams, and it's something that Coach Ashley Tiernan talked about on Saturday. If you don't make mistakes, you don't shoot yourself in the foot, more than likely you're going to win. That's an obvious statement, but that's really been the two aspects for Carson-Newman that has provided all sorts of issues. There's a nice swing, dropping it to the ground by Mooring this time around along this near sideline. When Carson-Newman has played well, they've been almost flawless. When they haven't, they have made a boatload of errors. There really hasn't been that middle ground where they've been right in that solid range. Weaver pummels one, but a net violation. Would have been a kill for Weaver regardless, but instead they go net violation, so no kill for Schuyler. And Carson-Newman hanging around that 3 to 4 point lead right now in the first set, ahead by 4. Weaver heads back to serve. One of the 2 middles for Carson-Newman, playing out of position, but fitting in well in the middle. Pass into the middle. Weaver is diving after it, and it just does sneak inside of the line. That is one area where Carson-Newman does benefit out of it. Weaver was recruited as an outside, played outside last year, so when she serves, she's a little bit better defensively than what you might expect from having a true middle in the back row. And that certainly helps Carson-Newman, and we saw it over the weekend with Weaver. 3-point lead. Carson-Newman on top of the Splitters, and a jump floating serve from Koyaju. Cherry across the floor. That was well placed, and they're going to say out. And Carson-Newman thought it was in, and indeed it was. The lead official is going to overrule the call of the line judge in the back corner. That ball was in bounds. I mean, it bounced in front of her shoes, and the way that those line judges are taught, they straddle the line. And the lead official standing there with a pretty good angle pointed straight to the ground and said, indeed, that ball was in play. And that's a pretty critical point because instead of it being a 2-point margin, it balloons back up to 4 for Carson-Newman. You get another look at it. You see it there. It's tough to really see from that overall angle. Some bodies in the way. But the way that it bounces certainly looks like it's well inside of the gray tape. 11-7. Carson-Newman on top as McKenna Hall serve. Pass to the middle. Now tapped. Hall gets a hand on it. Wheeler tracks back to get it. And Hayden Barton will free ball it to the corner. Set to the middle once more. Can Barton get there? She does. It's in the net. Hall got a piece of it. That's great hustle by McKenna Hall coming from the back row to get there, but couldn't do it in time. And the point back to LMU. Fans continuing to pile in here to Holt Fieldhouse. Really nice crowd here this evening. I see members of the football, baseball, Eagle Anglers, and the soccer programs here. And I'm sure more are here when we go through this match. Barton with a pass. Hildenbrand comes to the back row. Julia Wheeler tries to spike it from that back distance. And for the first time in a long time, a team has won back-to-back points. Carson-Newman was the last to do it, and that came back during their 5-0 run. Leading by a pair now. Kieran into the block, tapped around. Hildenbrand the piece. Kieran wants another chance at it. It's punched into the air. Koyaju got a piece, and then the Gardner-Webb transfer. Morris, free balls. Now Hildenbrand takes a hack and drops it to the ground. Abby Hildenbrand drops one in. Carson-Newman's back up by 3 here in the opening set on the first kill by the senior. 12-9 first frame. Cherry serves to the back row. Outside set, spiked down the line and keep it in play. Really good swing along that left pin. And the margin back down to 2. Well, you have to credit Lincoln Memorial. They fell behind 7-3, called a timeout. Felt like they weren't getting back into it after a few back and forth swings, but they've been able to pull within a deuce. 12-10. Britton serves. Hildenbrand will give it up. Kieran just taps it. Koyaju. Britton comes backside. Well, LMU just a little bit out of system, but it falls in. Mooring's the one that gets it. Had just enough to get it over the net. And just like that, LMU has snuck back within a point. They've won 4 of the last 5. A nice surge here for the Splitters. And Abby Hildenbrand will wipe up some moisture off to the right-hand side. That'll bring us to a quick pause for just a fraction of a second here. LMU 1-5 on the year. They're the only team so far this season to lose both of their conference matches, although a lot of teams haven't even gotten started yet. Hildenbrand will give it up outside. Wheeler with a strong swing. Britton got a piece, and it stays alive. Wheeler wants another chance. This time, the off-speed pitch. Wheeler again, third time, not the charm. Kieran trying it. Look at the defensive effort from LMU. And now Wheeler another chance. Can't put this one down. Britton will bump it. This is tight to the tape. Joust won by Hildenbrand. Still poked around. Barton recovers. And then Hildenbrand basically a free ball to the back. Sent over by Britton. Pancake Hall. Wheeler a free ball over. Britton punches it. Kieran finally drops it to the ground. What a sequence. The pancake from Hall. And the dinner served by Kieran, and Carson-Newman leads by 2. Great defensive effort by McKenna Hall to get the first ball, and Carson-Newman ever so alert in that sequence to take the point. It's Kieran, the one that drops it to the ground. And now the officials are going to have a conversation about this sequence. As they chatted over, and I believe confirmed that, it certainly looked like Hall got a really stout piece of that ball. It wasn't one of those where it may have clipped a little bit of fingertip. It caught her up closer to the palm wrist area, and the Eagles back up by a deuce. Britton will go outside in a rifling effort from Mooring into the Carson-Newman block. Outside, tap with the left hand. Hall another piece. Near side, Wheeler down the line. It's picked into the air. Now a right-hand ball blocked by Carson-Newman. Look at Weaver and Hildenbrand rising to the occasion to send it back. 14-11. Carson-Newman, the rejection at the middle. Weaver and Hildenbrand. The height at 6 feet plus. Now Barton back to serve. Eagles have been able to open it back up, and an ace. Hayden Barton with a flawless serve. And the Eagles have won 3 unanswered points, and LMU will burn its final timeout. Carson-Newman has opened it up. It is a 15-11 margin. The hustle plays of Kieran, Hall, Wheeler, and company. And the Eagles lead it 15-11 in the first. We'll step out for a quick break. The Eagles on top here in the first set. Carson-Newman has led by as many as 4 points here in this opening set, and doing so yet again after a nice little burst by LMU after the ace from Barton. LMU out of timeouts. Into the middle, it's Mooring, angling it over. Hall got a piece, another diving effort by Weaver. Backside set, Mooring. Hall gets to this one, but it'll circulate out of play. LMU answers the bell out of the timeout. Trailing it by 3. Gabriella Abreu will return to the lineup. Koyaju will get a break. And a serve coming up here for Katie Cardenas. Cardenas from the middle of the floor will jump float it. A little circulating spin to it. Hildenbrand, near side, Wheeler. Heavy swing, bounces off the side, and a kill for Julia Wheeler. That is number 2 for the sophomore out of the mid-state. Newman has not been able to get over this 4-point threshold. They have led by 4. Now 7 times in this opening set. Never more. And a service error by Hildenbrand as she tried to angle it just inside of that tape. 16-13. Well, if LMU is going to make a run to get back in this opening game, probably starts right here at the service line. Eagles have had a great side-out percentage. To the middle, Erin Edwards. She gets blocked. Mooring combining with Sierra Lemons. Out of the middle to pull LMU within 2. Serve goes to the back. Cherry with a pass. Hildenbrand gives it up. Weaver through the block. Skylar Weaver with her second kill of the night. Eagles have spread the wealth nicely. 3 different players with 2 kills. 2 have 1. 5 players so far into that column. Eagles so far hitting above 2 bills. 17-14. And Wheeler back to serve. And that's out of bounds. 17-15. Carson-Newman just hasn't quite been able to pull away so far. Eagles have a pair of aces, but they've combated that with a pair of service errors. 3 attack errors, 8 kills. It's been a little bit hit and miss for the Eagles, but they've gotten hot here of late. Barton's pass. Hildenbrand will back it up for Erin Edwards. Morris diving. Edwards flawless in execution. Eagles back on top by 3. Fans enjoying what they're seeing here so far as Carson-Newman, after losing the first 2 points of the set, rattled off 7 of 8. They haven't looked back since, although LMU has been able to get back within a pair on a couple occasions. The closest they've been was 1 at 12-11. They won 4 of 5 at that point, but Carson-Newman had the answer. Weaver again serving. Eagles ahead by 3. Abreu passes it. Goes back to Abreu. She puts it into the block. Kieran Edwards in combination, and CN back ahead by 4. Skylar Weaver trots back to serve yet again, and now let's see if the Eagles can get this margin above 4 points. It's a good serve by Weaver, but a very nice pass into the middle. Ross puts it down. Not the cleanest of swings, but had just enough to sneak it through the netting and through a couple Carson-Newman blockers. Well, it really does feel like Carson-Newman has been pretty much in control in the first. Every time LMU has tried to sneak back into it, Carson-Newman has answered. Left-hand serve, backpedaling Wheeler. Now to the middle. Kieran, wow, great angle. Taylor Kieran sneaks it in play in the deep corner. Another kill for her. Eagles back ahead by 4. Sends McKenna Hall back to serve. Hall will float it up there. Jump floating effort, very tight to the tape. Tough pass to the middle and kept in play. Great set out of the middle on a tough pass. Emily Walter, the senior from Buford, Georgia, gave it up to Lemons, who perfectly swung the arm and filed it to the back corner. 2017. Barton's pass sends Hildenbrand backpedaling, tapped over by Kieran, but Koyaju answers. Ross now a perfect tip. Cherry got a piece. Back-to-back points for LMU. They've snuck back within a deuce. And Carson-Newman's lead whittles down to 2, 2018. Opening set. Carson-Newman looking to hand LMU a 5th straight loss on the year, an 11th straight set loss. Kieran swings, good dig by Koyaju. Cross-court swing, out of bounds. That's what I was talking about earlier. Talk about teams that have chances to win late in the season. A moment like that, you at least have to keep the ball in play. If you're LMU, they fail to do so, and they dig themselves a 3-point hole. Cherry serves off of the tape. Outside set. This one's off of the block. Much better swing that time around from Cardenas. Sophomore from Arlington, Texas. Both of these clubs are youthful. Everybody in the LMU lineup, with the exception of Koyaju and Walter, have played less than 2 full seasons of collegiate volleyball. Outside set, Wheeler off of the block, and that's perfectly angled off of the high hands. And the Eagles lead 22-19. Well, it's been a methodical pace for Carson-Newman to try to get to this 25-point mark in the first. But Carson-Newman has looked stout in the opening game. Pass comes near the 10-foot line. It goes backside, leaping block. Wheeler, Weaver in combination. And CN back ahead by 4 in the opening game. You can see that one dialing up from a pair of players whose names, if you say them together, will give you all sorts of tongue twisters. Into the middle, off of the high hands, and Barton has it sneak through her paws. Well, Carson-Newman leads at 23-20. All they need is 2 more points to put away this opening game. Julia Wheeler and Taylor Kieran lead the way with 3 kills apiece. Abby Hildenbrand has dished out 10 assists so far. A jump floating serve going towards the back, and it's a service ace. Cherry tried to step in front of McKenna Hall, and maybe a mistake there by the freshman. 23-21. And the serve finds Hall this time around. Wheeler stepping to it, and a perfect pass with the right hand. She drops it in front of the defense. That was perfectly motioned by Wheeler. And set point in the first. So here comes Abby Hildenbrand with a chance to put the bow on it. 24-21 opening set. High arcing pass to the middle. Tap towards the corner. Cherry, great hustling effort. Wheeler down the line and out of bounds. Looked like for a second that was going to be a highlight level play. Set point number 2 for the Eagles. And the serve will test Wheeler. Hildenbrand wants to give it to Edwards, who hits it out of bounds. And just like that, LMU has put 2 set points to the side, and the Eagles will need a third go at it. Set point number 3. On the serve from Long, Hildenbrand hops to it. Wheeler right down the line and into the body of Britton with no block. Wheeler punctuates the set, and the Eagles take the opening frame and hand LMU its 11th consecutive set loss. Great swing by Wheeler. Carson-Newman wraps it up. Look at this block. Confused, and that leaves Britton on an island. Could do nothing about it. And Wheeler pummels it. And the Eagles capture the first. So Carson-Newman in control after one, 25-23. And after a set, Eagles lead it 1-0. Does LMU have an answer? Or can Carson-Newman go up 2-0 for a second straight match? We find out when we come back here on the Eagles Sports Network. Lincoln Memorial closed the gap within a point. 2 separate times in the first, but Carson-Newman winning the opening game 25-23. LMU has now lost 11 consecutive sets. Hildenbrand will give it right back to Wheeler, and this time she knuckles the ball out of play. This is kind of how the match started off. Carson-Newman fell behind 2 points to nothing, but then responded by winning 7 of the next 8 and was in control the rest of the first set. Koyaju serves, the native of Turkey, to the middle. Aaron Edwards with a tap that falls to the ground. Edwards side at 1 apiece. Wheeler serves. Now the pass comes to the left-hand side. It goes across the floor. Edwards picks it up. And now Edwards will have to free ball it over. To the middle it goes and put to the ground. As Carson-Newman couldn't adjust in time on the good swing out of the middle. LMU overall in that opening set was pretty much what they've been a lot of the year. Decent offensively, a 158 hitting margin. But the opponent, Carson-Newman, hit 242. That's been a big issue for LMU. Hildenbrand goes backside. Edwards off of the block, and it bounces off of the ground. I think LMU thought that it hit the antenna, and the official says, no, it didn't. Tied yet again at 2 now here in the first set. Glad you're tuning in for this broadcast. Michael Watchring with our great crew here tuning in for this one along with you. Skylar Weaver back to serve as she floats it up towards the back row. Near side set. Ross, who's had a pretty good start to this match, taps it over. Then Hildenbrand, always heady with a great decision to send it towards the back corner and drop it in and give the Eagles their first lead of the second set. Always so intelligent there. She was able to fling that towards the corner. And with a 3-2 lead in hand here in this opening, or the second set rather, the serve comes from Weaver. Outside it goes, tapped over, punched at, flicked around, and then a lift violation on Carson-Newman. And we're tied at 3 apiece. But we go back and forth here in a little bit of a tussle. LMU with a couple kills here, right out of the chute. Hildenbrand close to the tape, here in, sends it out of bounds. Officials looking around to see if there was a touch. Indeed, there wasn't. LMU back-to-back points. Carson-Newman wraps up this homestand, and they certainly want to take advantage whenever they get a chance to play here. They don't have a whole lot of opportunities in this gym, and an ace. Britton plucks the top of the net and flops it in. 3 unanswered for LMU. And another serve here from Britton, the freshman from Fairfield, Illinois. Hildenbrand goes backside. Edwards gets blocked, and it stays in play. Cardenas combining on that sideline to reject Edwards. And LMU has their largest lead of the match. Now at 3 points at 6-3. Look at this block. Great job by Cardenas with the 2 hands to rise up and keep Edwards from getting the kill. Hildenbrand comes near side. Sherry. Near side set across the floor. Edwards handcuffed by it. 5 unanswered for LMU. And Carson-Newman is in a 4-point hole as Emma Grace Cobb is off the bench. And she's going to replace Aaron Edwards. Edwards last year in the meeting between these two clubs, 13 kills, career high 7 digs. Couldn't quite scoop that one. Jump floating serve from Britton. Cherry passes. Outside set, right back to the freshman, and she takes advantage, and that puts an end to a 5-0 scoring surge by LMU to get the Eagles back within 3. And here comes Taylor Rohr onto the floor. Rohr has played in just 1 set this year, but this is what Carson-Newman does have the ability to do now that Hildenbrand's in the front row. They can play her on the right side and bring in the team leader in assists the last 2 years, who comes in immediately and makes an impact. Service ace, Taylor Rohr. Rohr, the senior from the state of Colorado, has led the team in assists each of the last 2 seasons, 40-plus times in that span. And she serves this one down the line. Set, Britton kind of a little awkward there. Now Rohr will get the shot at it. Wants to give Hildenbrand a chance, and Hildenbrand drops it down. Well, how about Taylor Rohr? She walks into the gym. She gets an ace. She gets an assist. And just like that, Carson-Newman's run 3 consecutive points onto the board. Well, this is what you like about this dynamic that the Eagles have. You have such great experience. 2 of the 3 seniors are setters. Cross court, Barton. Rohr wants to give Hildenbrand another chance. This time Britton is there to pluck it out. To the right side and into the net. Well, Mooring was trying to sidewind it down the line. Instead, she put it into the net, and Carson-Newman has answered the 5-0 sequence from LMU with 4 unanswered of their own. 7 apiece. Second set. Eagles won the first 25-23. Another good serve and a bump set outside. Into the block. How about Hildenbrand and Kieran? 5 unanswered, and Carson-Newman's back on top. And a timeout from LMU. Eagles soaring right back. A great block. Look at the combination. Hildenbrand, Kieran leaping at the same time. Nowhere to go for LMU. And Carson-Newman, after trailing 7-3 just moments ago, right back on top and leading it 8-7. Timeout splitters gives us a chance to give you a quick update on what's going on around the rest of the league. UNC Pembroke rips off a monster run in the 4th set, wins it 25-8 against Coker to win the match in 4 sets. Cobras get 16 kills and a .316 hitting percentage from Emily Everton. And that goes for naught. And Coker drops that match, and the Pembroke Braves continue to play really, really good volleyball against teams from the South Atlantic Conference. Well, otherwise in the league here tonight, Mars Hill has won the first set against Converse 25-9. It's currently a 20-12 affair in the second set as the Lions look to get past the Valkyries, as Converse continues to pretty much play every team in the league, it feels like, this year. Updating you from the Wingate-Lenore-Rhine match, a dandy of an effort there. Wingate winning set 1, 25-17, but LR has bounced right back and is leading the second set 13-9. Reigning conference player of the year, Shannon Kasbrak, 13 assists, 5 digs for her so far for Wingate. Well, out of the timeout as Carson-Newman has won 5 unanswered, sticks it into the net. And both teams trade 5-0 runs. And for the 4th time in this set, we're tied. This time it comes at 8. And back to serve heads Cardenas. Cardenas will leap into the air, sidewind one over Cherry. And Barton and Wheeler bump into each other, and then Hildenbrand flicks it along to the middle. Block doubled by Kieran and Hildenbrand, and they say that it never got to Carson-Newman's side. And it's an attack error on LMU to give Carson-Newman the lead back at 9-8. Blake Cherry heads back to serve. Cherry double-digit digs in each of her last 2 matches. That's really been a big area of her strength so far. And this one goes into the net. Kaylee Long, the sophomore from Rocky Face, Georgia, puts it into the net. Carson-Newman's lead swells back to a pair. Eagles have now won 7 of the last 8 points to go ahead 10-8. Cherry once more. This time she tests Cardenas. Outside set, Abreu with a high arcing poke, and Rohr, who was backing up just a little bit, couldn't adjust to it in time to get that left hand out there. And it drops in front of her. That's just a tough play. Hard to react in that situation. You're taking your steps back to get into position, and then that off-speed ball finds the ground right in front of you. Rohr goes backside. Hildenbrand gets blocked. Good rejection. Abreu in combination with Lemons. And we're tied once more at 10 apiece. Hotly contested second set. Eagles trying to go ahead 2-0. Barton stumbles over Wheeler. The Eagles are able to get it over, but right in system is LMU, and banging into the net to make that mistake was Lemons to give Carson-Newman the point. Well, situations like that young teams make mistakes on will drive a coach crazy. You get an obvious free ball, easy chance, and maybe a little too antsy to put that ball down. Lemons jumped a little too early and then couldn't keep her body out of the net. 11-10. Backside set through the Carson-Newman block, and driving it to the ground goes Mooring. She's had a really, really nice match so far. Mooring leading the team now. That's kill number 7 for her, and she's eclipsing the 300 mark in terms of efficiency. All coming from the right side. Although LMU as a team, however, they have made as many attack errors as they have kills. Rohr will give it up. Julia Wheeler on a very high set. Wheeler hung in the air and was able to use the right hand as a bazooka to drop it through. 12-11. Carson-Newman back on top. We go back and forth. Set number 2. Eagles won by a pair in the first. See Wheeler hanging in the air and putting it through. And then a service ace. Excellent serve by Abby Hildenbrand, who continues to see her overall numbers rack up. 3 kills, an ace, 15 assists. Doesn't have a dig yet. It's almost rare you see a setter where the digs are the hardest part of her game to try to get towards double figures, and it has happened a couple times this year as Lemons hits one right down the line, and it's a timeout from Lincoln Memorial as Carson-Newman has opened up a 3-point lead. And for the second time in this match, Coach Allison Williams has used both of her timeouts before Carson-Newman has reached 16 points. 14-11, Eagles on top in the second, ahead 1-0. We step out for a break, come back with more here on the Eagles Sports Network. Well, LMU has been able to hang around in this set, but they've made a bevy of mistakes. 6 attack errors in this set. That's basically half of Carson-Newman's points in this second set. With the Eagles ahead 1-0, trying to go ahead 2-0. Abreu jammed on that ball, and now a back row attack goes to Cherry. Hildenbrand comes to the middle. Weaver with a good swing, pounding it off of the block for her 3rd kill in just 4 swings. Efficient effort so far by the middle. And back to a 4-point margin for Carson-Newman. They've led by 4 a whole bunch of times in this match. They've never gotten it above. To the 10-foot line, Walter comes right to the middle, and they're just flicked over by Ross. To the left side, it goes Wheeler through the block, and Ross is able to backpedal to get it. Now Abreu. Awkward right hand half-arm swing. Diving effort, Cherry. Wheeler down the line. Once again, it's Abreu, another chance. Cherry once more able to pluck it. Ross sets it up. Abreu off speed. Eagles keeping it alive. Wheeler off of the block, and it finds the ground. Morris couldn't adjust to it. And for the first time today, Carson-Newman's lead is 5 points plus. It's up to 16-11 in the second. And Hildenbrand looking to keep this service game rolling. The senior. Short, high arcing ball, and then sent over. Excellent decision from Walter. Haven't seen a lot of that from the senior, but she was able to stick it over the net. Let's see if that propels a little bit of a Lincoln Memorial run. Splitters have dropped 4 straight matches. Their only win this year, a 5-set victory over Converse. 16-12. Koyaju serves. Wheeler takes a spike, but Koyaju, her pass is a little offline, and now right close to the tape. No real decisions to be made there by Cardenas, as she was deciding how in the world she was going to get that ball over, and she ends up nearly colliding with the net. 17-12. Opening set. Or second set, rather. I keep looking up at the scoreboard. They haven't updated the periods, and it still says 1. Emma Grace Cobb with a dig. Hildenbrand going back corner. What an effort by Morris to get a piece. Then Carson-Newman gets the block. It is Weaver skying to the occasion that spoils the effort of the Lincoln Memorial libero. Excellent play right there. That's a great effort by Morris, and she deserved a lot better in that situation. The Gardner-Webb transfer. Former Bulldog. High arcing pass goes back for Wheeler. Hildenbrand comes for Cobb. Walter to the middle. Lemons through the hands of Barton. And LMU sneaks back within an 18-13 margin. Second set. Remember, the Splitters don't have any more timeouts left. So after we were tied at 11 apiece, Carson-Newman won 7 of 8 points to go ahead by 6. Now Cobb, good swing. Ross taps it over. It was perfectly angled. And at the end of it all, it finds the ground behind Carson-Newman's defense. Well, that's just the tendency that you have. You get so close to the tape trying to react to the ball, and it just ends up going over the top of your head. Pass comes for Hildenbrand. Weaver bangs it off of the leg of Walter, and Skylar Weaver having a great match. Her 4th kill. Really good stuff by Skylar Weaver. She did not play a whole lot last season, but this was perfectly placed. Hard swing and drops it off of the leg of Walter. And now she goes back to serve. Koyaju to the middle. Right hand swing out of the middle. Punished to the ground by Kaylee Long. We'll expand upon that point about Skylar Weaver. Last year, how about this? 1 match, 1 set, 1 kill, 3 swings. That's it. But so far this year, she's had at least 5 kills on 3 separate occasions. She's been overall fairly efficient here of late as she's hit above 200 in each of her last 2 matches. A short serve goes into the net. And after Lincoln Memorial closed the gap to 4, Eagles get to 21st and lead it 20-15 as Taylor Rohr's back in there. 20-15 second set. Eagles had to hold on in the first, winning at 25-23. Shanked pass. Britton can't get there in time, and an ace. And Carson-Newman's lead stretches back to 6. 21-15. Eagles on top in the second. Waiting for it for a roll shot. Wheeler. Let's see who Rohr picks out. She wants Blake Cherry. Cherry hits it off of Morris's arm. Good rescue. Free ball. Britton, the setter, sends it over. Hildenbrand. Rohr to the middle. Kieran off of the block. Eagles lead by 7, and they're in control in the second. 22-15. Carson-Newman on top. And possibly a chance to put this one away. Taylor Rohr back to serve. And that one's out of bounds. 22-16. What a weapon that is to be able to utilize Rohr and as well as utilize Hildenbrand with her athleticism. Rohr entered tonight having played in 235 career matches, averaging over 5 assists per set when Carson-Newman was running the 6-2 setup. And now they're pretty much back to it, despite the fact that they technically have the 2 setters on the floor. But Hildenbrand's so versatile. Near side set off of the block. Look at Barton with a great diving play. Wheeler with excellent hustle. Rohr aids it over. Let's see if Carson-Newman can defend now. To the middle. High arcing poke. Wheeler again. Great ground covering. Hildenbrand. A chance. Britton with the answer though. Now Abreu right down the line. Kieran accidentally pops it back over, and it's dunked to the surface by Mooring. Carson-Newman had great hustle in that sequence. Probably deserved better, but LMU credit them. They stuck after it to get the point. 22-17. Mooring just a little too tall there and in the right spot. Back row attack, this time Wheeler, and she takes something off of it to make sure that that finds some empty real estate. 23-17 second set. Carson-Newman on top. Inching closer to going on top 2-0 for a second straight match. Cherry serves it. Pass. Overpass. Wheeler with a 2-handed slam dunk. Serve from Cherry. Pass goes out for Morris. She gives it up. Abreu through the block. Well, LMU was able to put aside a couple set points in the first. They put aside their first. Here in the second set, Eagles still plenty of time left in this one to close that. 24-18, set point 2. Wheeler steps back. Rohr, she wants Hildenbrand, who had to lean back. And Hildenbrand sends it out of bounds. Just her second attack error. 24-19. Back-to-back set points put by the wayside. Is the third time a charm here. Rohr to the middle. Kieran drops the hammer. And Carson-Newman snatches the second set away. And the Eagles in control with a chance to sweep the Splitters. Great pass and right into the middle. Kieran, perfect timing. And she drops it to the ground. And Carson-Newman leads it 2-0. Can they pull it off this time around and end this match? We'll find out when we come back. Carson-Newman on top. 2-0. Third set action coming up here from Holt Fieldhouse when we return on the Eagle Sports Network. Lincoln Memorial studying the game plan as some of our students are studying here in between sets. You get about 3 minutes. You can probably knock out 2 or 3 pages of some of those papers that you're writing for class in that time window. Knock it out in between sets. Enjoy some volleyball as a little study break. Enjoy an opportunity here on a Tuesday night at Holt Fieldhouse to enjoy some Carson-Newman volleyball action as the Eagles look to get back above 500 in conference play and are in control Eagles on top. 2-0, 25-23 and 25-19 now. To the middle. Lemons gets rejected and then sent over. Barton and Hildenbrand bump into each other, and I'm not sure who was the one that touched it. The way that it looked like Hildenbrand was backpedaling, it was her that got it first, but not sure exactly who the one that was that touched it. And for the third consecutive set, Lincoln Memorial has won the first point. Hasn't really proved to be much of a strong indicator of how things would fall the rest of the way. Hildenbrand finds Emma Grace Cobb, who has a really nice swing, and this ball ends up nearly out of the gym. Strong swing from Emma Grace Cobb, and she gets a kill. A sophomore from High Point, North Carolina, Cornerstone Charter Academy product. And she did really well right out of the middle, angling that swing. Walter will set it up outside. First action of the match for Keturah Margaret, who leads the team in kills this year. She gets blocked, but she's able to get it right back over. Hildenbrand comes to the middle. Weaver scooped out of there by Abreu. Margaret again gets a piece of it. This time, Carson-Newman answers the bell once more. Margaret, another chance. Her fourth swing. Wheeler got a piece. Barton was never going to be able to race over there in time to get it, and that falls in for a kill from Keturah Margaret. Margaret, 2 kills in the first 2 matches, but 2 double-figure efforts in the last 4. And she gets one here in her first action of the night. Hildenbrand gives it up. Cherry down the line. Morris, Margaret, this will be a tough play. She just has to punch it. Basically a free ball, but Cherry had to cover a lot of ground as Emma Grace Cobb sticks it into the net, and Carson-Newman will be whistled for the violation. And LMU ahead by 2. Well, here's a question for Carson-Newman. You led 2-0 against Queens. You let the Royals back in the third. Eagles could never regain that mojo the rest of the way. What have the Eagles learned in the last 72 hours? Cherry, couple flicks, has to go over. Margaret was able to get it. Barton had just a piece, and now Cherry across the floor. Morris, a great diving effort. Margaret gets a kill as she was backpedaling and drops it in. Eagles fall behind by 3. If you remember that Queens match, Royals had some monster rolls in the third and the fourth sets. Wheeler backpedals. Now Cobb. Carson-Newman likes to do that, angling those rights and middles. Cobb, great diving effort. Wheeler from the back row. Walter will give it up to the middle. It hits the hand. Wheeler got a piece. Eagles can't control, and CN faces a 4-point deficit as LMU has ripped off each of the last 4. Well, if you're Carson-Newman, you don't want the memories of Saturday to creep in. You want to see if you can turn the page. Weaver, for the time being, ends the momentum for LMU. 5-2. And Weaver heads back to serve. Weaver's had a nice service day so far. Carson-Newman has 5 aces on the day. This pass nearly finds number 6 instead of back row swing. Hildenbrand picks out Kieran, who gets set right back to her. Now Cobb. Free ball goes towards the back corner. Wheeler picks it up. Hildenbrand comes near side. Sherry gets stuffed. Ross, long. Ross at 6'5", dominating this side. And it was her left hand combining with a right paw of Long that sends it right to the ground on Carson-Newman's side. 6-2. Britton back to serve. Hildenbrand, Cherry into the block. Instead, they say it never clipped an LMU player. And the Splitters have answered right back. So Carson-Newman's one play does not seize momentum back in their side. 7-2. Carson-Newman trailing. Pass comes for Hildenbrand. Now the swing from Kieran. And Kieran across the floor. Out of bounds. 3 attack errors for Carson-Newman and an 8-2 LMU starts to the third. Splitters on top. We'll step out for a break. Eagles behind 8-2, but ahead 2-0 in the match here on the Eagle Sports Network. Lincoln Memorial, 8 of the first 10 points in the third set. And after Carson-Newman won each of the first 2, a chance here for LMU to get back in this match. Cherry's pass finds Hildenbrand to the middle. Kieran, once again, strong swing out of the middle by the sophomore. And Carson-Newman stops the momentary burst by LMU. Well, the 2 middles for Carson-Newman, how about this? 11 kills on 20 swings, just 2 errors. Weaver carrying the load, 5 of 7. Margaret has to get to that ball, but a free ball goes over. Wheeler steps to it. Rohr jumping, giving it out. Cherry. Abreu sends it outside. Now Margaret. Good play by Wheeler to get a piece, but eventually it finds the ground, and it's a 9-3 contest. Well, let's think about this. Let's dive into what happened to Carson-Newman on Saturday. Eagles led 2-0, ended up losing in 5. It was just the second time in Ashley Tiernan's tenure in 24 matches in which that has been the case, when they led 2-0 and ended up losing in 5 sets. Koyaju serving, and it's out of bounds. Eagles back within 5 at 9-4. The first time it happened was back on October 25th of 2019. Eagles did it against Anderson. Trojans won here in this gym, and Carson-Newman answered right out of that. They won 6 in a row, and 13 of the next 14 winning the conference tournament championship and then the Southeast Region title. Hildenbrand outside, Wheeler through the block, and it finds the ground. Julia Wheeler the kill, and Carson-Newman pulls within 4, winning back-to-back points for the first time in the set. The other aspect of that equation for Carson-Newman is how good they've been at home. They haven't lost back-to-back home matches since 2017. Near side set comes to the back row. Cherry outside, Wheeler taps it over, bodies hit the deck. Britton got a piece. Eagles have won 3 straight to slice the deficit in half. Now 9-6. The last time it happened was in 2017. Carson-Newman, right after doing that, they got swept by Mars Hill and Wingate. They eventually won 3 straight to get to the South Atlantic Conference tournament matchup, in which they ended up playing against Queens on this floor, and the Eagles fell just shy of a conference championship. Well, here's an interesting development in the Wingate-LR matchup. LR takes the second, 25-21. Wingate laughs at that, and they're up 12-1. Check that. 13-1 in the third. They have 9 kills on 12 swings without an error. So right after Wingate drops the second, they drop the hammer. Molly Lambalot, 10 kills, 18 swings. She's hitting .556. So that's the update in that matchup. Other conference action that's currently going on. There's only one other true conference match that's actively happening, and that is Limestone and Newberry. And Limestone leads it 2-0, 25-17, 25-14 against Wise. Wise really struggling this year. Program that's trying to find its footing in this conference. And Limestone leads it 2-0. Serve stays in play. Excellent serve from Cherry. 4 unanswered for Carson-Newman to get to 9-7. Cherry once more serves. Abreu passes. Goes outside for Abreu, and this one goes out of bounds. 5 unanswered points for Carson-Newman. And just like that, the Eagles, after trailing by 6, have whittled it back down to a 1-point deficit. 9-8, third set. Eagles looking for a sweep. Koyaju passes. Now right-hand side through the block. Rohr got a piece. Kept alive. Cherry sticks it over after Kieran got a piece. To the middle. Tap to the corner. Diving effort, Barton. Set over by Wheeler, however. Britton at the 10-foot line. Abreu. Short tip. Rohr. Joust won by Hildenbrand. What a splitting effort by the Rail Splitters. Britton, and then it's hit out of play by Mooring. There's a lot to unpack in that sequence, but at the end of it all, 6 unanswered for the Eagles, and we are tied. 9 apiece. Britton did the splits to get that ball up, and her teammates didn't help her out as Cherry sends it out of bounds, but you'll take that any day of the week. When you're on serve and your serve is responsible for 5 consecutive points, you'll check that box and gladly take that transition. A 5-1 sequence on serve for Cherry. Wheeler passes it, gets it right back as she swings it on down the line. Abreu to the middle. Kieran tried to bump it over. The set was off. Kieran wasn't in the right timing as those two try to work. Well, that's the problem that you have when you bring a setter off that has played just 1 set prior to tonight. Not necessarily in sync in a match setting. Let's see what Rohr does here. This time she gives it up for Hildenbrand, whose high arcing tap is pancaked. They keep it alive, and Hildenbrand rising to the occasion. Everybody stopped for a second, but Hildenbrand, who gets the solo block. Hayden Barton back to serve. Out of bounds. So Carson-Newman gets within 1. Promptly gives the point back. Well, Carson-Newman is looking for a sweep. If the Eagles win here tonight, it'd be 4 straight against LMU. It would match the longest winning streak Carson-Newman has ever had in the series against the Splitters. And it's a series that dates back to 1992. Wheeler taps it over. Now Abreu will step back, swing it over for Barton. Rohr comes out near side. Wheeler into the tape as she makes the misfire. Well, to put that into perspective, Carson-Newman won 4 in a row, the first 4 meetings ever, 92-93. 2 wins each season. Since then, the Eagles have won back-to-back matchups on just 4 different occasions, hitting 3 separate times. As Skylar Weaver gets another kill. Weaver having a really, really good match. 6 kills. Been a part of 3 different blocks as well. So Carson-Newman trying to, for their longest winning streak against the conference in-state rival. It's just about an hour up the road in LMU for the first time in nearly 30 years. Barton will bump it outside. Wheeler hits it into the block. Cobb gets a handle on it, but not enough to pop it into the air, and LMU has gotten the lead back up to 3 at 14-11. Eagles tied it at 9. Since then, it's a 5-2 LMU run to get the margin back out to 3 points here in the third. Back to serve once again, Abreu, the senior from Brazil. Hildenbrand to the middle. Cobb off of the block. Good job that time around from Emma Grace Cobb, and she's come on and provided some pretty good punch, not only in terms of kills, that's her second, but she also has a block in there as well. This is a pretty solid swing. She had the double block in front of her. She goes left, more than likely bangs it into the hands. Instead, finds the right angle, slices it off of the left hand of the middle blocker. Lemons for the kill. Wheeler's serve, Tess Margaret. Walter wants to go backside Ross at 6'5", and a whistle. And Carson-Newman was in the net. They call it on Skylar Weaver. And a 15-12 margin. Both sides have used one of their 2 allotted timeouts in the set. And here in the third, LMU trying to force a fourth, down 2 sets to none. To the middle, Weaver tosses it, punched at by Ross, bodies collide, Hildenbrand decides to send it over. Ross another chance, this time Hildenbrand there to scoop it up. Right side, Cobb. Good pluck out of there by Abreu. I don't know who touched that, but Ross with the left hand might have gotten it. Cherry off of the block. Backside set, Ross. High arcing bump set, running forward and a little off center was Wheeler to get it over. Now Margaret down the line, off of the hands, Hildenbrand. Lengthy rally. Cobb down to the middle of the floor, Abreu handles. Margaret stepping forward, a little hook shot. Hildenbrand sweeps the arms to get it to the middle of the court. And then Cherry bangs it off of the wrists of Ross. Excellent hustle in a marathon of a point. Carson-Newman wins it and is back within 2. Look at the hustle all over the map, and Cherry. Ross was right down the line, just couldn't angle the ball back into the floor. So now Weaver back to serve. Pass comes towards the 10-foot line. It comes to the middle, and Wheeler with a very good absorption of that swing. Then Cherry this time does get blocked as Ross gets a hand on it. Now Cobb sends it to the back left corner. Eagles back within a point. Sneaking into this one now, having won back-to-back points. 15-14. Third set. Weaver back to serve. Skylar jump floats, very shallow. Abreu. Margaret, very good swing, and Weaver this time couldn't handle it. 16-14. Well, it feels like right now Carson-Newman's on the cusp of a 3-0 surge or so. But LMU has been able to ring the bell every time the Eagles have gotten back into it after Carson-Newman tied it thanks to a 6-0 run earlier this set, a 5-2 run. Put LMU back on top, and that's where we stand now. Cobb out of bounds. Well, you have Aaron Edwards, who's one of the most efficient players in program history, who just hasn't found her rhythm this year outside of that Catawba match where she had those 17 kills. And because of that, the Eagles have relied a lot on that youth up front. Hildenbrand gives it up. Kieran drops one in front of the middle of the back row for her 7th kill to trim it to a 2-point margin. Well, you look at Carson-Newman's leading kill producers in this one. The top 3 are all sophomores. Britton will set it up to the middle. It goes out of bounds. Nobody for Carson-Newman touched it. It's back within 1. 17-16. We've been tied twice, at 1 and at 9. Can Carson-Newman bring it all the way back here to 17? Britton, who does she pick out here? She wants Margaret. Hits it off of the tape. Cherry couldn't adjust to it. It eventually bounces towards the Carson-Newman bench. 18-16. Margaret. That's a tough ball for Cherry. It hits the tape, has a little bit of wicked spin to it, unable to adjust. 18-16. LMU looking to stay alive in the match. Pass comes out for Rohr. Now Kieran from the left-hand side, and Taylor Kieran has another. She has 8 kills. As she continues to have a career type of day from the middle. This time, she went to the left pin to drop it in. Career high for kills, 9. That came on Saturday for Kieran. Tapped over, Barton the pancake, Wheeler a swing, Britton gets a piece. And it finds the ground. The Barton pancake. And Wheeler getting a kill, and we're deadlocked at 18. Pancakes all around for the Eagles. And a timeout from Lincoln Memorial. Well, Carson-Newman has had a couple. McKenna Hall had a pancake early. Now Barton gets a pancake. LMU forced to call for a time. And here at 18 apiece in the third, Eagles with a chance to put it away. Wingate blasts Lenore Ryan in the fourth. Final tally 25-10 in the third. So they're ahead 2-1. Wingate's hitting .333. How about the third set? 16 kills, no errors, 28 attacks. That's a .571 hitting margin. And right on cue, they make an error on their first swing of the fourth set. So Wingate coming out with a strong effort in the fourth. The other conference match, Limestone is match point, 24-18 the lead. And they just won it. Service error from Cassidy Farley wins it for Limestone. Leading the way, Vanessa Bloss. She has 11 kills and a .391 hitting percentage as Limestone hits .269 against UVA Wise to wrap it up. So Limestone wins. Wingate trying to hold off Lenore Ryan. Meanwhile, Carson-Newman trying to do much of the same here inside of this gym. We're tied at 18, set 3. Eagles won the first 25-23 and the second 25-19. Tied at 18 here in the third. Britton will set it up outside. Abreu puts it right in front of the body of Cherry. And Carson-Newman unable to gain the lead. Eagles have not led at any point in this set. Last time Carson-Newman led was when they clinched the second on the kill from Kieran. Barton backpedals. Rohr will give it up. Kieran slices it over to this left-hand side. Who takes this swing? It's blocked. Mooring took a chance at it, and an excellent decision. That's Britton in the right place at the right time and making a flawless choice. Got both hands to it and just flung it to the back. Knew Carson-Newman wasn't going to be there. Cherry not expecting it. Barton couldn't jump. Back-to-back points out of the timeout. And an overpass. Rohr got a piece. Whistle and a violation on Rohr. 3 unanswered. And the Eagles unable to close this thing out in the third. Lincoln Memorial trying to battle back. Serve comes. Barton passes. Right-hand side, Hildenbrand. Koyaju kept alive by Britton and a free ball over. Hildenbrand, another chance, and Britton, who is on the bench, on the ground. She got picked on by Hildenbrand. Great choice by Abby because Britton was on the ground after she rescued that ball, and Hildenbrand knew that and said, I'm going to have some room if I can put it in a pretty shallow spot on the floor. And that ends a 3-0 burst from LMU. Outside set, Abreu hits it off of the tape. What a great effort by Rohr. Then set up by Weaver. Wheeler, Hildenbrand, Koyaju twice from her knees. Abreu into the net. Eagles back within 1. Carson-Newman's off-the-script plays in this match have been fantastic. There have been some moments where the ball has been flopping around, bodies flailing all over the place, but the Eagles have been excellent when it hasn't quite gone according to the script. Britton comes near side. It's an overpass, and Wheeler gladly takes the alley-oop and flops it on the ground. 3 unanswered by the Eagles, and just like that, we're tied for the 4th time. Carson-Newman looking for its first lead of the third. Barton to serve. Tied at 21. Out of bounds. That is just back-breaking. 8th service area. Such a small window to work with. It was a really, really good serve by Barton. Not like she airmailed it by a mile. It just did miss that back line. Can the Eagles side out now? Rohr wants Abby Hildenbrand. Karen Morris gets the scoop to the middle. Lemons inbounds, deep corner. And look at how that service error just extends. Advantage Lincoln Memorial. Timeout Eagles. Will step out for one as well. Third set action. Eagles looking to wrap it up. LMU has different plans. Who gets the better of it? Down the stretch. Both teams out of timeouts. 23-21. Eagles lead it 2-0 here on the Eagle Sports Network. Third set, Carson-Newman 2, LMU none, but the Splitters have won back-to-back points and a chance to send it to a fourth. Right side, Hildenbrand off of the block. Puts an end to that little surge. Carson-Newman back within a point. And Grace Cobb's coming in. Hildenbrand's going back to serve. One of the top setters on this Carson-Newman roster. Or servers, rather. She is the best setter on the roster, at least to this point in the year. Coming to the middle, Lemons. Basically a free ball. Can Carson-Newman put it down? And Grace Cobb had to lean back on it. Just didn't have the right path. Ross tipping, falling it right in front of Carson-Newman's back line. And we live to fight to a set point for the first time on the day for LMU. Carson-Newman has to have back-to-back points. Can they get a side out? And then can they win a point on serve? Cherry with an on-target pass to the middle. Emma Grace Cobb jams it through the block. Eagles not done yet. They need one more before they can breathe at least for a moment. 24-23. Set point number 2. And it's Wheeler back to serve. 12 kills for the Eagles, and it goes out of bounds. How about that? 2 service errors in critical situations, and Carson-Newman unable to pull off the sweep. Eagles go ahead 2-0, and LMU storms back. And the Eagles falter in the third, and we need at least a fourth here in this classic Tennessee battle. 2 schools separated by less than 70 miles. And LMU right back into it. Fourth set action coming up here in a moment on the Eagles Sports Network. Well, Carson-Newman has had some chances to put this thing into their back pocket. Eagles were able to pull level. Just could not quite get back on the right side of the scoreboard, tying it 4 times in that set. And because of that, we play on here in the 4th set. And on serve, LMU as they float it on over. Hildenbrand out of the middle, finds Emma Grace Cobb. It swings back towards the left. Morris sends it back over to the middle. Hildenbrand finds Weaver. Sliding stop by Margaret. Back to the left-hand side of Abreu. Cherry slides to it. Hildenbrand wants the right side. Cobb. What a great play by Margaret from her knees, and then it's sent over. Diving effort. Barton. Ball still loose. Ross gets a piece and back over. This is the first point of the 4th. Wheeler gets a poke, and it finds the ground off of the tap, and a point to LMU, and a 1-0 lead for the Splitters. Jump floating serve going towards the back. Picked out of there. Hildenbrand sets it up outside. Wheeler down the line. Out of bounds. No touch. And a point going to LMU back to open up this 4th set. So LMU has started off well as Wheeler comes out and McKenna Hall will replace her. And a jump floating serve. Hall. Hildenbrand will come outside. Hall slides it over. Walter to the middle. Diving stop to her left by Cherry. Hall will have another chance at it. Overpass. Cobb leans back. Margaret with the answer. Outside set Abreu. She gets blocked. Walter to the middle. Lemon sends it over right in the right spot. Was Cherry. Then Weaver hits it out of bounds. First attack misfire of the night for Weaver. And 3 unanswered points for LMU to start off this 4th set. Eagles lead it 2-1. Looking to avoid what happened on Saturday. Cobb sticks it through the block, but Lemon's backpedaled to it. Then Abreu, it looked like she might have caught it, maybe a little bit of the net. They don't call it. It's 4 unanswered. For LMU here in the 4th, this has all sorts of shades right back to what happened on Saturday. Walter serves. Hall, not the greatest pass. Now she has to step to it. Set goes outside. Abreu picked out of there by Cherry. Weaver. Hall has to lean back. Eagles just don't have anybody right now that can put the ball to the ground. That's the problem. Hall just tips it over. Abreu, high arcing punch. Well, LMU can't do any of the same, and it's a net violation. I think McKenna Hall was the guilty party there. She was right along the tape, and now Wheeler's going to come back in. Well, think about what happened on Saturday. In the 4th set, Carson-Newman got blown out early and just never could find an answer right back after that, and you start to give a team momentum and confidence. And that's exactly what's going on right now. 5 unanswered for LMU here in the 4th. Wheeler, better pass this time. She gets a chance to put that beside her after she was benched for a couple moments, and she does so as she swings and puts it on the ground. Eagles into the scoring column here in the 4th. Well, 5-0 deficits aren't much to overcome. It's when that 5-point deficit lingers throughout the rest of the set. Eagles need to go on a little bit of a burst here. Near side, Abreu. Right-hand play by Wheeler. Eagles have been wonderful at those. Cherry to the middle. Margaret passes tight to the tape, and poking at it was Walter, and Carson-Newman gets back in this to make it a 5-2 affair. Well, thanks for tuning in here this evening. Our great crew providing all the action, the sights and sounds from Holt Fieldhouse. Carson-Newman looking to hand LMU a 5th consecutive loss. That win for LMU was their first set win since September 4th. As this ball bounces off of Barton's hands. It's a 6-2 lead. LMU had lost 12 consecutive sets. It was the 4th set against Auburn Montgomery on September 4th. The last time LMU had won a set. So a 10-day drought, and they win the 3rd. That doesn't mean much if CN wins the 4th. Weaver out of bounds. And now Carson-Newman starting to see some of those misfires that have plagued them all year long rear their ugly head. 5-point deficit again in the fourth. And Abreu back to serve. Jump floating it. Barton didn't really know what she was doing, and Cherry gets the kill regardless. As Cherry was able to pick up her teammate after a decent pass from Barton nevertheless, even though she didn't know what to do with her hands. And Cherry finds the ground. Not a whole lot of action for Cherry. That number 4 in terms of kills on the night. 7-3. And Weaver back to serve. Carson-Newman's service game has been pretty solid, although those 2 service errors certainly stick out in that third game as Ross again cycles it through the block. And an 8-3 tally. So Morris heads back to serve. Well, it hasn't really been a day where flip skis have been a big deal. Hayden Barton has 14 digs, and she's one of 3 players on both sides in double figures in the area. Morris has just 10, and she gets another one there. As Walter, very short. That's a pretty good free ball, actually. But Cherry a chance, and she drops it in. 8-4. Fourth set. Take a look at this one from Cherry. The middle block, well too late. No chance for that to close any gap, and Cherry slid it right in between the 2 defenders. To the middle, a tap, diving effort, Taylor Rohr. Ball pinged into the air. Walter off of the block. Bounced around a couple times. Now Margaret on the left-hand side. Pretty good swing. Keeps it inbounds in the deep left corner. And back to a 5-point lead. (9-4). Fourth set. Carson-Newman won the first 2 sets. They dropped the third and now in a hole in the fourth. Cherry. High arcing return punch. Rohr. Backside. Hildenbrand. Roll shot comes back for Barton. Now Cherry hits it off of the block. Blake Cherry starting to find her rhythm. Couple kills here in this set. And a 9-5 margin. Fourth set action. Just that middle block, and Cherry's had her fair share of opportunities with just 1 blocker on the outside. Margaret leaning back. Barton got a piece of it. She read that well. Just couldn't quite get enough on it to get it into the air to keep things alive. Eagles lost the first 5 points of the set. And since that juncture, haven't been able to get any closer than 4. Rohr gives it up. Hildenbrand. It hits the head of Britton. I'm not sure if she just didn't see it or what happened. But the Eagles have won back-to-back points. Or check that, have won 2 of the last 3. And once again, sneak back within that 4-point margin. Hildenbrand hit it. And I just don't think Britton saw it. I think that a couple players in front of her were in her way, and she just didn't see it. Serve goes out of bounds. And once again, the Eagles can't put a dent into it. Well, I talked about it when LMU won the first 5 points. It's one thing to fall behind 5-0. You get a quick 3-0 run somewhere in that area. Get it back down to 2. Get right back into it, but the Eagles haven't been able to do that. It's still 5 here at 11-6. Wheeler with a strong swing, but it comes right back over the net. Hildenbrand trying to put it down, but it's blocked. Lemons combining with Abreu. Splitters ahead by 6 at 12-6. Well, Carson-Newman is on pace to have the lowest hitting percentage against one of the worst defensive teams in the conference. Eagles at 175. The lowest that LMU has given up this year was 192. But Cherry hits one to the back row and hits one that bangs off of the backboard. And she tallies her 3rd kill of the set. Well, every team that has faced LMU, with the exception of Converse, LMU's lone win of the year, has hit at least 224. Short serve from Hildenbrand. Koyaju diving to get to it, and then poking it through the block was Mooring. LMU has done such a great job spreading the wealth, and that's what they're known for. They have a lot of different players that can get kills, and they're doing what they've done a lot of this season. A pretty overall efficient effort, around 160. Wheeler sliding through, net violation. Wouldn't have mattered because Wheeler had just the perfect decision there with a sliding, gliding roll shot. 13-8. Wheeler serves. Picked up by Abreu. To the middle, to the sideline, and in play. Let's see here. The line judge originally said out, then pointed in, and then the two lead officials overrule and say that it was out. That was a misfire there from the linesman. Abreu. Barton has it slide through her hands, but Wheeler was able to track back. Then Barton back over. Pass comes towards the 10-foot line. Right side, Ross. Barton gets strong hands this time. Cherry, who's been great in the set, can't drop it in. Free ball from Ross. Barton, the libero, a chance. Hildenbrand. Cobb pummels it to the ground, and it's a 3-point margin. Good comeback by the Eagles. 3 unanswered points by Carson-Newman. Well, Cobb rising to the top perfectly in system. Does LMU have an answer? Abreu picks out Wheeler. Hildenbrand wants Cherry. Cherry continues her strong 4th set. Eagles back within a deuce. They've won 4 unanswered and a timeout from LMU. So timeout, Splitters. Gives us a chance to catch our breaths here for just one moment. Well, it has needed a 5th set in Hickory. Lenore Rhine just blasted. Although now that I'm looking at it, I can't imagine that those are the right scores. It says 25-5 in the 3rd set, which is inaccurate because, well, maybe it's not. Maybe those scores are right. I thought earlier it was different. It was 25-5 Wingate in the 3rd, 25-6 LR in the 4th, and they're in a 5th set. Wingate cannot find consistency on their side of the net. And perhaps, I mean, honestly, maybe the stats are just a little bit ajar over in that facility. But nevertheless, from what we can tell, it's a 5th set action over in Hickory. And a dandy going on there. Carson-Newman trying to avoid similar action happening here. Eagles led 2 sets to none. Couldn't find a way in the 3rd to make a comeback. And now here in the 4th, after trailing by as many as 6, are down to 2. 13-11. Julia Wheeler serves. Wheeler jump floats it along that far sideline. To the middle, Ross. Well, that's what LMU wanted to do out of timeout. It didn't work out, and then Weaver taps it over. Morris, yeah, she shanks that one. Ross off of the block. Cobb gathers. Near side, Sherry across the floor. Koyaju handles. Left-hand side, whistle, net violation. Not sure who that was on. I don't know if it was Hildenbrand or Cobb. So out of the timeout from LMU, they stop the bleeding after 4 unanswered by Carson-Newman. And at 14-11 in the 4th, LMU looking to battle all the way back and get us to a 5th. Into that, Abreu didn't have enough to get it over. Well, right now it feels like whichever team can right the ship in terms of mistakes is going to win this match. Carson-Newman has 5 attack errors in the set. They have 10 service errors in the match. Down by 2, though, and Weaver serves. Walter, flat-footed pass. Lemons gets blocked. Kieran with that long length, rising to the top, Eagles have won 6 of the last 7 and are within a point in the 4th. Good hands by Kieran right at the net. Strong left, poking it right back with great trajectory. Weaver serves again. Tests Abreu. Walter goes over. Excellent choice. Well, that's what setters can do for you. They can make those great decisions to stop runs. And just when it looked like Carson-Newman was going to duke it all the way back. A 2-point swell once more. LMU won the first 5 of the game. Pass comes out for Hildenbrand, and it's pummeled to the ground by Kieran. First time for Kieran climbing the ladder to 9 kills, although that might be 10. Some of the stats being corrected as we speak. So she might have slightly more than that. But she's matched a career high for a second consecutive match, just her 3rd of the year. 15-14. Chance for the Eagles to pull all level again. Deep, high arcing serve. Ross picks out Rohr, and she can't keep it in the field of play. 16-14. Well, how much growth did Carson-Newman have from Saturday? A team that went ahead 2-0, eventually lost to a solid Queens club that sits at the top of the SAC standings. Wheeler's pass sends Rohr hustling after it. Kieran hits it off the hands, sends it right back over. Britton gives it right back. Barton, fortunately for the Eagles, is there. Then Hildenbrand dumps it. Morris got a piece. Abreu keeps it alive. Rohr outside. Hildenbrand, basically an abbreviated slide from the right side. Then sent towards the corner, out of bounds. Carson-Newman has snuck back within a point at 16-15. 16-15, 4th set. Eagles ahead 2-1. Looking for a 4th straight win over LMU. And this serve goes into the net. Think about this. Carson-Newman has 11 service errors, 21 attack errors. That's 32 points in the match. LMU has won 84, so a little more than a third of the points that LMU have won in this match have been based off of Carson-Newman errors. Rohr, backside, Hildenbrand hits the antenna. LMU starting to sneak back out top. LMU has won now 4 of the last 5 after Carson-Newman had won 6 of 7 to pull within 1. 18-15 in the 4th. Koyaju. Barton can't handle it, but the Eagles will get a free ball out of it to keep it alive. Britton picks it out near side, very tight to the tape, somehow staying away from it, and then Hildenbrand with a perfect decision to go to the back corner. I don't know how Mooring kept her body out of the net, but Hildenbrand was able to make a perfect decision with LMU scrambling. Barton got a piece, Hildenbrand with a perfect decision, and Morris couldn't cover that ground. Another good pass from Koyaju. Outside set, Abreu gets stuff. Britton had to play it. I think she was expecting somebody else. Then Mooring gets a kill. Sherry was in the right spot, but just not quick enough with the reflexes to get both arms out. Inching closer and closer to the end of set 4. Critical sequence coming up. 19-16 LMU. And into the net. Well, 2 young teams, 2 teams that have made their fair share of mistakes in the early portion of the year. Clubs that have combined to go 3-9 to open the season. Which team blinks first? 19-17, 4th set. Britton comes backside. Mooring right over the head of Barton. 20-17. Well, you start to feel like if you're Carson-Newman, how do you put an end to this sequence? And I would imagine if LMU gets this point, it'll be a timeout from the Eagles. Barton's pass, Hildenbrand. Backside, Wheeler. Walter got a piece, Scooped up by Lemons. Free ball, Morris. Can Carson-Newman take advantage? No, they cannot. Hildenbrand went back, and you have a sophomore out there in Cobb. The mistake made. Timeout, Carson-Newman. LMU getting close to forcing a 5th set. Timeout on the floor. We step out for a break. Eagles ahead 2-1. They're getting shocked yet again. Is LMU on the comeback trail here on the Eagle Sports Network? Carson-Newman led 2-0 and seemingly had a chance to put this thing to bed. Haven't done it. Losing in the 3rd set, 25-23. And here in the 4th, down by 4 and well out of system as Wheeler just sends it over. Walter, backside, Ross gets blocked. Weaver and Wheeler combine in a critical sequence. 3-point margin. Well, Carson-Newman just had to get the ball over. And then a good effort by Weaver to get over there in time and get the block. Athleticism at its finest, and a shank pass from Koyaju, who had been nearly perfect in the back row all day. Back to back, out of the timeout. CN within 2. They haven't been level in this set. Trailed 5-0 and by as many as 6. Wheeler serves. Koyaju better this time. Abreu, shallow tap. Perfect execution. Nothing Carson-Newman can do about that. And back within a 3-point affair, 22-19. Halfway home for LMU. And they get this thing to a 5th set. Abreu to serve. Abreu floats it up there. Barton's pass, Hildenbrand. Now Cherry down the line. Pass goes up. Lemons. Margaret in system. Just not a really good touch there. Cobb with a chance. She pokes it over. Hangs along the tape. Margaret. Wheeler again. Cherry. Morris got a piece. Sent over by Lemons. Cobb had it clip the tape. Ross. Diving effort. Wheeler. She can't get it up in time. And it is 23-19, 4th set. And the Eagles are in trouble here in the 4th. Things looking like a 5th set is going to be needed. Abreu. Barton's pass to the middle. Weaver gets blocked, but it goes out of bounds. That allows Carson-Newman to find some level of a surge. Well, this was a 14-13 match. The Eagles were within a point. They were within a point at 16-15. Since then, a 7-4 sequence flipped the script. 3-point edge for LMU. Weaver serves. Backside Ross. Again, finding good space. Set point LMU. Three of the last 4 to LMU. Out of the timeout. Carson-Newman, I think they have one left. In terms of a timeout, they don't use it. Hildenbrand to the middle. Kieran. She's into double figures and kills officially now. First time in her career. Career effort for her out of the middle. But set point yet again, 24-21. Taylor Rohr, a senior. One of the starting setters on that region championship team from 2019. See how her experience pays off. Walter, Ross gets blocked, kept alive. It's kicked over the net by LMU to keep it alive. Can they take advantage? An unbelievable right-footed kick. Right side, Hildenbrand. And a net violation on LMU. So the incredible effort with the feet means nothing. How in the world did that ball go over the net? It was blocked. It was kicked by Walter straight up into the air. It fell on Carson-Newman's side. But then, as the Eagles were going for their approach here, you get a net violation. I believe Margaret was the one that was in the net. Crazy sequence. Walter with a right foot. We have soccer here tomorrow. Mars Hill's in town. Women and then the men, 5 and 7:30. Hope you tune in for those broadcasts with us. You might not see a better kick this week. Excellent stuff from Walter. But Carson-Newman, glad to have the point. Back-to-back set points thrown by the wayside. Timeout LMU. They're out of them. Eagles need 2 more. In the third set, Carson-Newman was able to burst back into it on a couple occasions. Tied it at 21. Were within a point on a couple different times, but just couldn't get all the way back after they tied it at 21. Eagles fell into a 5-0 hole. Fifth set action from Hickory. Lenore Ryan leading at 12-11 in the fifth. And is Wingate about to be stunned yet again after they were ahead 2-1 this time around? And now Rohr to serve. 24-22 fourth set. LMU looking to get us to a fifth. Carson-Newman looking for the improbable comeback. Abreu's pass. Walter, backside. Ross off of the block. We are going to a fifth set. Almost inexplicably, Carson-Newman for the second match ahead 2-0. They couldn't close out Queens on Saturday. They haven't been able to close out Lincoln Memorial here on Tuesday. And now to a fifth set we go. Stick with us. You're going to want to hang around. See how Carson-Newman comes out of this one as we step out for a break on the Eagle Sports Network. For the second time in as many matches, Carson-Newman has seen a 2-0 lead wiped away. And here in the fifth, the Eagles got to find some level of consistency to fend off LMU. Abreu with a swing as now Hildenbrand gets a chance. Walter pops it into the air. Koyaju poked over. Net violation on Carson-Newman, and the first point of the fifth set goes to Lincoln Memorial. Well, Carson-Newman started the year 1-0. They beat Catawba in 4. Then the Eagles were up 2-0 on Queens. Had first place in mind, had a winning streak in mind. Lost in 5 to Queens. How do they respond here? Cherry sliding it over. Walter diving effort to get it over. Now poked over by Rohr. Walter again goes outside. Margaret off of the block. Eagles too late to get over there. And Carson-Newman has fallen into a 2-0 hole. Well, some of the stats slightly delayed. Eagles still out hitting LMU at 185 to 167 on the day. Carson-Newman has made some errors, some unforced errors of late, and they'll gladly take one from LMU. This is a very young Carson-Newman team, and you can barely even count the spring season that Carson-Newman had, because a lot of the players that played in the spring were Carson-Newman's upperclassmen that eventually graduated. Shanked pass and an ace, and Carson-Newman's back level at 2 apiece. You look out on the floor right now. Of the players out there, Barton played every single set. Rohr played every single set. Kieran was a key piece as Cherry sticks this in the net. But Cherry wasn't here. Wheeler basically didn't play at Tennessee Tech. Hildenbrand, of course, very experienced, but this is her first taste with this team. So a lot of continuity they're still working through here at the young part of this season. Barton passes. Hildenbrand has to stride to it. Wheeler sends it along for Walter. LMU on top. Ross gives it up for Cherry. Better pass here. Wheeler hits it off of the block. Julia Wheeler, 15 kills, leads the way for both sides in the match, and we're tied at 3. Well, Wheeler's had a good match. She has made some mistakes on the outside, but all told, she has had a really, really solid effort. Pass comes out for Morris. Margaret tries to put it down. She gets blocked. Ross, the 6'5", right side, gets to it. Margaret, another chance. This time, poking it. It redirects off Carson-Newman's bodies, and it hits the ground. 4-3, LMU. Abby Hildenbrand, 33 assists, 8 kills, 6 digs. Really good effort from Richland Ross. 12 kills, 367 hitting percentage for the Splitters. Back to serve is Britton. Overpass. Margaret pounds it, and a 2-point lead. No, hold on. They call a net violation. That was an elementary opportunity for LMU to pull some separation. So let's put a mark next to that. So instead of the Margaret kill, it's a net violation that would have made it 5-3. Instead, we're tied at 4. Pass comes near this near sideline. Goes back out, Margaret. She hits it into the block, cannot recover. And Carson-Newman has taken the lead and taken advantage of LMU mistakes. 9th block of the day for Carson-Newman. Hildenbrand to serve. Near this sideline, Margaret. To the middle, poked at, corner, and Cherry can't get back there in time, and we're tied at 5. 4th time we've been tied. The only time that we weren't was at 1. LMU won the first 2 points of the set. Deadlocked at 5 in the 5th. And one of those games where, you know, you talk about coaches taking your jacket off on the men's basketball side. Here you take your shoes off like Allison Williams. Right hand swing. Barton got a piece. Wheeler, sliding stop, Koyaju. Outside, Abreu just got a poke. Eagles scrambling here. Weaver tosses it over. Koyaju, she wants Abreu to poke it. Does so. Wheeler got a piece. Eagles scrambling to get it over. Diving effort from Wheeler. Good job by Carson-Newman keeping this alive. Can Wheeler put it down? Morris, nobody's over there, and a point for Carson-Newman. Wheeler's hustle started it, and the Eagles take the lead in the 5th. Look at the hustle by Wheeler. And then she gets rewarded by dropping it to the ground from this left side, and now she serves. Morris passes. Eagles on top. Right side, looked like really close to the tape, and once again, Mooring able to adjust. Wheeler, good swing. Outside, Abreu. Cherry pops it into the air. Right side, Cobb. Britton passes. Right-hand side, another swing. Well, can Carson-Newman put this ball away? Cherry does so. The freshman coming up big. Carson-Newman has won back-to-back points, and it forces a timeout from Lincoln Memorial. Well, let's remember that point and that sequence that happened earlier. Cherry, solid swing here through the block. It was 4-3 Lincoln Memorial. Carson-Newman had an overpass. Margaret was dropping it to the ground, but she got whistled for a net violation as he swung at the ball. That mistake allowed Carson-Newman to tie it. Instead of being down 5-3, it made it 4-4. And here in the 5th, a 2-point lead, and Carson-Newman with a chance to put those last 2 sets behind them. Leading 2-0 for a second straight match, forced to a 5th. And after losing to Queens on Saturday for just the second time in 24 attempts in Ashley Tiernan's tenure, pushed to the brink again at home against an LMU team that hadn't won a set in 10 days, had lost 12 straight sets. And Carson-Newman ahead by 2, 7-5. And Julia Wheeler is in the back right-hand side of the floor to serve. And let's see what happens here if you're Carson-Newman. Wheeler spins it. Great match for her so far, and another solid serve. Outside of Abreu. She trickles it off of Carson-Newman's hands. Cherry, who just had a kill. Redirected. Outside Abreu. Wheeler, good sprawling play. Near side, Cherry, another chance. Down the line, it's out of bounds. Britton was hugging that line, making sure that she watched it out. And a point for LMU as they respond out of the timeout. 7-6. And a serve coming here from Kaylee Long. Long will take that step. Good top spinning serve. Right-hand side, Emma Grace Cobb taps it. It was poked by Abreu. Britton steps back and keeps it in play. How does that happen? A kill, and we're tied at 7. Britton steps back, and Carson-Newman in the back row unable to get there. It splits Barton and Wheeler. And now Wheeler has to play it. Barton gets to it. Cherry sends it back, and she drops it in. Blake Cherry has come on late, and the freshman, 9 kills now on the match after she was quiet for much of the day, puts the Eagles back on top. 8-7. Here in the 5th, Skylar Weaver, who's had a solid overall day, serves. Outside set, poked over Abreu. Hildenbrand got there to get a piece, then Emma Grace Cobb to the back row, and Koyaju. Cherry, another chance. The freshman nearly came up with another way going. Lemon had her glasses in her hands and played it, but Kiernan makes sure that it means nothing as she pummels the ball to the ground. That was wonderful by Lemons. I don't know what her prescription is. If you're in the -1s or 2s, you'd probably see that ball. If you're down there in the 4s or the 5s, tough ball to play. And Lemons had her glasses in her hands, and Kieran drops it in. Eagles back ahead by a deuce. Must sign out for LMU. Mooring off of the block. Good play by Wheeler. Sherry across the floor and picked out of there. Abreu off of the block. Wheeler sent to the back left. Morris's pass. Britton had to lean out to get it. Then Mooring punched at by Hildenbrand, and it winds up near the scorer's table. 9-8. Well, this is such a critical learning moment for both sides. Both very youthful, young clubs. If you're LMU, you'd lost 12 straight sets. This could be a turning point in your season to put behind the scuffling of the first few matches of the year. If you're Carson-Newman, does Saturday become an anomaly, or does that become something that happens far too frequently? Ross. Barton with a good pass. Hildenbrand sends it back. Walter. Koyaju. Ross, another chance. The 6'5", right side, out of bounds. Definitely looked like it was way out from this angle. And it just does miss. And Carson-Newman will want to wipe up some moisture on that sideline. Eagles inching closer to winning this thing in 5. Carson-Newman had nobody over there. It was a great choice by Ross. And for Richland Ross, the sophomore from Germantown, Tennessee, as you go through her career, that's probably a ball that she learns from and gets better as she goes about. It's just a tad too heavy that time around. Hall, a very good service. She's back onto the floor, and it leads to a free ball and a chance for the Eagles to pull away. Into the middle, Kieran taps it over. Walter, Abreu, across the floor. Barton got a piece. Kieran, and now Cherry, a free ball. Can LMU take advantage? Backside, Ross, another chance. Inbounds, down the line. Right down the line. And let's see, Carson-Newman had a really good angle. It's right in front of their bench. They wanted that ball to be out, but it was right down the line. We got a pretty good look at it here. The score bug's in the way, otherwise we would have seen it. Had a really good angle from that area. Just does go out. Or in, rather. Maybe out. Who knows? Cherry off of the block. Margaret. Walter wants to send it back. Barton backpedaling. Good decision. Cherry a chance across the floor. Morris's pass. Tight to the tape. Punched at. Poked by the Eagles. Can't keep it alive. Lemon pulling it out of a hat right there. And we're tied at 10. And Carson-Newman calls for time. Well, Lenore Ryan has pulled off the shocker, winning it in 5 against Wingate as they hand the Bulldogs their second loss of the season and a second consecutive 5-set setback. As Lenore Ryan continues their strong stride, Limestone has won. So all eyes on this match at Holt Fieldhouse. 10 apiece. A sprint for the final 5 points. Carson-Newman, 5 kills and just 1 error in this set. 8 kills, 3 errors for Lincoln Memorial. Their offense has been much better of late. They actually have more kills than Carson-Newman does. 59-57. And to put that into perspective, under Ashley Tiernan, when the opponent has more kills, Carson-Newman's 1-8. 0-3 this year. Let's see if the Eagles find an answer here. 10 apiece in the 5th. Pass comes from Wheeler, very close. Hildenbrand has to spike it over. Outside set, Margaret taps it, it gets blocked. Lemon sends it over. Cherry elects to pass it to the middle. Kieran gets blocked, doesn't matter. Not hard enough on the rejection. Eagles back on top, 11-10. Orange and blue with the answer. Cherry to serve. Out of bounds. Tied at 11. 7th tie of this set. Well, who finds that little 2-0 sequence down the stretch? 11 apiece in the 5th. Pretty good serve Eagles will get a good swing out of it from Wheeler. Morris gives it up. Ross to the middle, and it juggles off of the arms of Hall, and the lead to LMU. That ball just got caught right on the arms of McKenna Hall. Had the right spin from Richland Ross. Morris's serve. Hall this time handles. Kieran gets blocked! Margaret in the middle, combining with Long. LMU ahead by 2. They've won 3 straight. That play has worked so flawlessly all day for Carson-Newman. Kieran has a dozen kills. And the Eagles have used that with a variety of players, and up until that point it had been nearly flawless. And LMU racks up his 8th block of the day. And against a Lincoln Memorial team that had been allowing a 252 hitting margin this year. Carson-Newman is at 178 and now firmly on the ropes in the 5th. LMU 13, Carson-Newman 11. Eagles led it 2-0 on their home floor. And the fans trying to back the Eagles. As Carson-Newman find their appetite here in the 5th. 13-11. Big point here. Morris serves. Hall with a pass. Hildenbrand comes outside. Wheeler, who's had a great match. Abreu overpass. Kieran taps it. Margaret. Walter backside. Ross hits it into the net, and an unforced error from this young group. Eagles live to fight for another point and now have a chance to equalize. 13-12, 5th set. Hayden Barton to serve. It's a good one to Abreu. Walter got a piece, tapped over. Abreu fell in the back row. Eagles can't take advantage immediately. Hildenbrand with a tap. It finds the ground. We're tied at 13. Well, LMU has 1 timeout remaining. That's the only timeout left between either side, and the Splitters are going to take it right here. 13 apiece, just when it looked like LMU was going to close this one out. Unable to do so. Carson-Newman back-to-back points, and Hildenbrand getting the kill, her 9th. Hildenbrand is a kill away from a triple-double. 36 assists, 11 digs. She has 9 kills. She has enjoyed her night at the arena. 1 kill shy of a triple-double. Tied at 13. The stats meaningless if Carson-Newman cannot come away with a win. 13-13. Barton on serve for Carson-Newman. LMU trying to pull off the shocker and end a 4-match losing streak on the year and a 3-match skid in the series against the Eagles. 13 apiece. Barton on serve, out of bounds. Abreu had it nearly clipper. She was indecisive, and Abreu somehow got out of the way. Match point, LMU. Britton to serve. Cherry's pass. Has to be a bump set. Wheeler, who's had a great match, hits it off the hands. Britton wants Margaret for the match. It's blocked. Morris calls for it. Sets up Mooring, who's been great. Cherry there to pluck it. Into the middle, Weaver punched at. Abreu gets a piece. A free ball, though, for the Eagles. Hall with a pass. Hildenbrand outside. Wheeler spikes it to the ground. Match point put to the side. We're tied at 14. Well, neither side has a timeout left. We're playing on the rest of the way. Now would be a prime time for an ace. Hildenbrand has 1. The team has 10. Margaret's pass. Britton to the middle. Mooring off of the block. Eagles in system here. Weaver gets blocked. Wheeler gets a piece. And Wheeler stepping to it. She gets blocked. Long and Mooring combined, match point number 2 for LMU. Second match point. And it's on Sevgi Koyacu, the senior from Turkey. The left-hand serve. Hildenbrand gives it up, Wheeler. Koyacu gets it up into the air. It's set up outside Abreu. Hildenbrand with a pass outside Wheeler. Off speed, it pings a couple bodies, and this ball is going to wind up behind LMU's bench. Honestly, I'd have to go back and watch it. I don't know how many touches that took. It probably would have needed to go over the net there. Here's that run back. Here's your poke. There's the block. There's the initial touch. That actually might have been too many touches regardless. Wheeler serves. Really good one. Koyacu almost stunned by it. Abreu hits it into the middle. Wheeler stepping to it. Sherry, the freshman, down the line. Is there a touch? Nobody is pointing out a touch. No official has made a call yet. Still waiting on it. Still waiting on it. And now I think the officials are going to collaborate. We're going to get a good look at this with our camera crew here. And this is a massive moment in the match because one of these two teams is getting to a match point. Britton is the player in question in terms of whether or not she got it. They're going to wait for the call before we show it to you. I mean, this is just a game-changing call. Official climbing the ladder. Let's see what she goes with. And a point to Carson-Newman, a touch to LMU. Let's run it back. Sherry took the swing. Doesn't look like there's one there. I think that there's one there, although it's tough to tell. So that's a touch controversy, and Carson-Newman's first match point for the win here. Britton, backside, tight, poked over. A chance for the Eagles. Emma Grace Cobb. Koyacu will set it up. Abreu has to just punch it. Eagles scrambling around. To Sherry. She gets blocked. Eagles match point goes away. Tied at 16. How about the combination? LMU's rejection, 3 of them now in the set. 10 in the match. 16 all. Hildenbrand to the middle. Weaver off of Britton's hand. Carson-Newman a match point. Second time, leading at 17-16. Each team has now had 2 match points. This is the second for the Eagles. Is it the decisive one? Weaver to serve. 17 apiece, or 17-16. Morris's pass, that's not great. Abreu has to send it in. Eagles in system. Cobb for the win. Koyacu got a piece. It finds pay dirt. Carson-Newman comes back, prevents the upset, and wins on its home floor in 5. How do you sum that one up? What a day inside of the gymnasium. Incredible that Carson-Newman comes back to win it. 18-16 in the 5th. And here's that sequence. Great pass, Wheeler. Outside, Cobb off of the block. Koyacu had a piece, but it went into the seats. And Carson-Newman fights off a disaster and wins it. Abby Hildenbrand, nearly a triple-double. 18 kills, 18 digs for Wheeler. And Carson-Newman wins in 5. Monster day at the gym. Eagles win it in 5 sets. They win the first 2, lose the 3rd and 4th, and win the 5th. And the Eagles capture it in 5. Carson-Newman wins it. We'll have all the reaction for you coming up on our social media platforms as well. YouTube, Carson-Newman's Eagle Sports Network, and CNEagles.com for all the action. Be sure to check us out there. Eagles win it in 5. Wrap up the homestand 2-1. And we'll talk to you again for our next broadcast tomorrow. 5 o'clock, Carson-Newman women's soccer in action against Mars Hill. Then the men at 7:30 on our busy week of play here inside of Jefferson City, Tennessee. Eagles win it. Carson-Newman 18-16 in the 5th. They win it in 5 sets against LMU. Eagles come out victorious. For our great crew here today, replay operator Richard Martin, our director Adam Cavalier, Michael Wattrang, providing you with this so long from Holt Fieldhouse. Thanks for tuning in. We'll talk to you again tomorrow night. Until then, good night, everybody.